People versus Dolores Strickland.
Ready, Judge. Torshell Feaster, Assistant Public Defender, appearing on behalf of Ms. Dolores Strickland. Ms. Strickland, please state your name for the record.
230 times Dolores Strickland.
Thank you, Judge. I have had many conversations with Ms. Strickland, and we were working with the people, with Ms. Tanner, to try to resolve this matter. Ms. Strickland had a particular offer she wanted requested. I asked Ms. Tanner for that.
You asked?
Ms. Tanner.
How'd that go?
She was not willing to give Ms. Strickland the offer that she wanted. Then I sent Ms. Tanha the mitigation letter just to make sure she had it, because Ms. Strickland wanted you to have it and Ms. Tanner to have it. I told her this was not the point for Your Honor to have a mitigation letter, but I did make sure Ms. Tanha had it. And you're asking for another adjournment so Ms. Tanha can consider the offer in light of the mitigation letter that I have made sure she had per Ms. Strickland's request.
So do we have the...
And also, can we do that as soon as possible? Because I've been in here, Your Honor, 230 days today, and I've got absolutely nowhere. And I also sent you the mitigation letter and a letter in the mail just recently. So you'll probably get that too.
Okay. I know you've been in a while, but I also have 3 cases. So that may be part of the problem.
Altogether, from what I understand,
If I might, Judge, Ms. Strickland is hoping for a resolution that will not include any type of probation.
Oh.
And that is not what is being offered at this time. And that is going to possibly be a hang-up to resolve this matter.
And Your Honor, I told him that I would maybe consider it. It depends on how long it would be. But however, I do have family in Florida, that Tallahassee, the hurricane, things like that I really need to get out to see if they're even alive or what happened to them, because I can't find nothing out in here. And I talk to them through Messenger. That's the way I stay in touch with my family. And I know they got hit. I just don't know how hard. And I can't get no information because the only person that I have here is my ex of 15 years and my other kids that, I don't have their number right now either, because I cannot get to their number, and I do not have phone, which I need to ask Your Honor, can I get my phone privileges back on, please?
I believe they were restricted because she had contacted.
She violated a condition of bond, so I revoked it.
Correct.
I was already punished for that, Your Honor, because he had them block his number. So that should have no problem of me calling my brother and trying to get help from him or, contact him, because that's who I was contacting. I wasn't contacting my ex.
Okay, Strickland. Now, a lot of these requests that you're making.
It's because I got nowhere.
Okay, listen. You need to talk with your attorney about them.
Your Honor, I have.
Do you listen to your attorney as well as you're listening to me? That means not at all.
I got mental issues that just I'm overwhelmed, very much so, Your Honor, but go ahead.
Thank you. Talk to your attorney about these issues. He'll talk to the prosecutor. They'll see what can possibly be worked out, if anything can be worked out. I'm not reinstating your phone privileges. You violated that condition of bond. That will continue revoked.
Then I just continue.
Okay.
Sorry, Judge. If we could have an adjournment so that Ms. Tanner and I'm bad with names.
Ms. Rizmersky.
Ms. Rizmersky. I knew the first name. Ms. Rizmersky could consider Ms. Strickland's.
How much time will it take for them?
We only need a week or two, Judge.
A week, please, Your Honor. A week. Let's speed this up, Your Honor. I'm trying to. If you just read my mitigation letter, Your Honor, you can find out why.
Ma'am, that's a problem. You keep doing things that your attorney says it's not the appropriate time. When I get that letter into my office, I'm going to tell you I am not going to review it because it's not appropriate for me to see that. If you listen to your attorney, maybe this would go a little bit smoother.
Your Honor, my attorney's not telling me what I need to know. I'm lost.
No, your attorney's not telling you what you want to hear. He's telling you what you need to know. You're just not listening, like you're not listening to me. These matters are adjourned to the 17th, 9 a.m. Bond continued. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Yeah, you did this. I didn't do any.
Thank you, Judge.
I'd like to say the same to you.
Yep. Okay. Go!
Will you hand me my screen box?
Now go. Freak. Are you Oscar Cruz Hernandez?
Sí, es correcto.
Sir, you are charged with harassment. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
On September 15th, 2024, officers received a call for service for a disturbance or an unknown weapon located at an apartment complex in Harris County, Texas. While on the scene, the officer spoke to the complaining witness about what happened, and she stated that around 1 a.m., she was outside of her apartment door, and the defendant stated in Spanish, "You should come inside the apartment. If not, you're going to end up like dead chickens." And the defendant made the face of a dead chicken. Then the defendant came back to the apartment and stated that y'all don't listen, you witches. Then the defendant came a third time and stated to her if she loves her son, she'll go inside. Complaining witness stated that she was able to observe the defendant grabbing at his waistline, to which the complainant said appeared to be a firearm. The complainant stated that when the suspect came closer to her, she was able to see the handle of a firearm. Complainant advised that she was in fear of her life.
Have you spoken to the complaining witness?
I have attempted a couple of rips, and we have not been able to get in contact with her.
Mr. Cruz Hernandez, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. I'm ordering you as a condition of your bond not to have contact with this person. Do you understand?
¿Usted entiende eso, señor? Tiene que hablar, sí, señor o no, señor.
Yes,
Yes, sir. Dígame, ¿qué edad tiene usted? ¿Solo español?
23.
¿Perdón?
23.
23.
What do you do for a living?
¿A qué se dedica?
A la yarda. Landscaping.
Yards, landscaping.
Are you a United States
¿Es un ciudadano
citizen?
americano?
No.
No.
Centroamericano.
Are you in this country with or without permission?
Con permiso, pero ya está vencido.
With permission, but it's now expired.
So you don't have permission to
Entonces
be
no
here.
tiene permiso de estar aquí. No.
What happens if you go to
¿Qué
jail?
pasa si usted va a una cárcel?
No sé.
I do not know.
Think about it.
Piénselo.
Yo no quería ir a la cárcel.
I don't want to go to jail.
I understand.
Yo entiendo.
That's not my question.
Pero esa no es mi
The
pregunta.
question is,
Mi pregunta es la siguiente.
what happens if you go to jail?
Pues voy detenido y voy preso por muchos años.
I would be detained, imprisoned for many years.
Immigration will put a detainer on you. And you will be stuck in custody first until this case is over with. And then you'll be shipped off to immigration where you will wait another 6 to 9 months waiting for them to do whatever they're going to
Hagan
do.
lo que van a hacer con usted.
Do not violate the conditions I've put on you now. Otherwise, I will put you in jail. I want you to understand that I value every single person in this
Cada persona
county, and I will protect them as much as I can. And if I find that you become a danger, if I find that you violate these conditions, and I don't care what it is, I will put you in jail and make your bond extremely high.
su fianza bastante alta.
The reason you got out so quick is we gave you a free bond. Typically, when people violate, their bonds end up being $5,000 to $10,000, and if you can't bond out quick enough, immigration will find you. Do you understand?
Suficientemente rápido, inmigración lo encuentra. ¿Usted entendió, señor? Tiene que hablar, sí, señor,
señor.
o no, señor.
Sí, señor.
You are not to
Acuérdese.
have
Yes,
any
sir.
contact with the complaining witness in this case,
No puede tener
not to go where she lives, not to go where she works,
ya vive donde
and
ya
not to be in possession of any weapons.
no posesión de ningún arma.
Are you taking any medication at
¿Se
this
está
time?
tomando alguna medicina?
What
Tiene que hablar, ¿es
Sí,
un
señor.
sí o no?
Sí,
Yes.
are you taking?
¿Qué está tomando?
unas pastillas.
Some pills.
What?
¿Qué?
Es para dormir,
Solo mira-
poder dormir, sleeping,
Something to help me sleep.
Who are you here with today?
¿Con quién está aquí usted el día de hoy?
con mi mamá y un familiar.
With my mother and a family.
Armida de La Paz Hernández y José Amaya.
Didn't understand anything what he said. He just said something about José Amaya.
Your mother's here.
¿Tu madre está aquí?
Sí,
Go get her,
Yes.
please.
Ve por ella. His eyes look a little droopy. Me llamo Luis, soy el intérprete, ¿ok? Mira el juez.
Thank you so much for
Muchas
coming.
gracias por estar aquí, señora.
He's facing a lot of
Él
time,
está enfrentando bastante tiempo.
and I want him to understand, and I want you guys to understand that if he goes to jail, he will get an immigration detainer.
Sí, una orden de detención de inmigración.
He's living with you now,
¿Está
correct?
viviendo con usted ahora, correcto? Yes.
Okay, I want you guys to understand that as part of his bond condition, he must take any medication that is prescribed by a doctor.
Medicina que se le receta por un doctor.
I also don't want him out in the middle of the night,
Afuera a medianoche.
not to go near where the complaining witness lives or works,
Vive o
because I
trabaja.
don't want any more issues. Is there anything else that you would like me to add, or do you need anything,
Okay.
any kind of help?
¿Le ayuda?
Pues ahorita le está tomando un medicamento recetado por el doctor.
Well, right now he's taking medication prescribed by a doctor. So
Please make sure that he continues to take it. If he does not take it, I need you to let me know so we can take care of him.
nosotros lidiar con eso.
It seems that when he's not taking the medication, bad things happen, and that's what we don't want to happen. I've given you a lawyer, and your lawyer can always get in contact with me for any issues that you may have. But understand,
Entienda.
he will not get any more PR bonds. If he violates conditions or he picks up a new case, I will end up putting him in jail, and then he's going to stay there for a very, very long time because immigration will get him. Okay? Do you have any questions?
¿Tiene una pregunta, señoría?
No, solamente eso.
No, just that.
Okay, so I'll have you guys talk with the lawyer today. We'll postpone it for you guys to get the evidence and just
Para que las evidencias
please
tengan, por favor,
maintain
bueno,
maintain him. Okay?
la vigilancia sobre él.
All right, good luck, guys. Please.
Un asiento.
Gracias.
No, pase con ella, usted.
Ma'am, you were charged with interference with the duties of a public servant. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you.
On September 26, 2024, at approximately 1:15 p.m., an officer responded to a call at the TSU Library Center located at 3100 Claiborne Street in Harris County, Texas, regarding a disturbance. The officer made contact with the individual causing the disturbance, and the defendant approached asking officers what's going on and what did she do. The officers repeatedly asked the defendant to step back, and she became belligerent, asserting that they were at her store. She eventually complied and moved away, but she insisted that a police supervisor be called to the scene. TSU Sergeant Barnett arrived and spoke privately with the defendant. Afterwards, responding officer requested the defendant's information to report her behavior to her supervisor in the university. The defendant refused to provide it and attempted to bypass the officer. When the officer asked her to identify herself again, the defendant declined and attempted to walk away. As the officer tried to detain her, she began to throw herself on the ground and yell, escalating the disturbance. Several officers issued verbal commands for her to comply. The defendant continued to resist, jumping around and asserting her rights. The officer attempted to escort her outside. The defendant then wrapped her arms and legs around a pole, continuing to yell. The officers physically pried her from the pole and detained her. Defendant used her body weight to resist and push against the officers. Defendant was then placed in the back of the patrol car without incident.
What was she doing wrong?
So it appears she wasn't the initial person causing the disturbance, but when they came to respond to the disturbance that they were called for, she intervened. And once they asked her to remove herself from the situation, she refused.
You didn't say, when you initially started saying about everything, you didn't say that she was the initial cause of the disturbance, that there was a call for a disturbance. They get out there and she, I guess.
So what it says is that they made contact with the individual that was causing the disturbance, and then the defendant approached asking.
See,
the officer.
right. So she just comes up, starts being nosy, right?
Right.
And then she basically, I guess, is trying to leave. And then they start asking her for her information.
Well, they were asking her to leave the scene so that they can respond to the disturbance, and she wouldn't comply. I think that's the issue, that she wouldn't leave when
Did
they asked her.
you say that?
Yes. They asked her to move away from the scene and she refused to comply.
Show me, will you read that part again?
So when she approached the officers repeatedly asked the defendant to step back, and the defendant became belligerent, asserting that they were at her store. She eventually complied and moved away, but
So she complies, she moves away,
right. But then she came back.
okay?
And so at that point, when she returned, they asked her to identify herself. She refused to provide her identification. And then at that point, when they asked her to identify herself, she attempted to bypass the officers.
She leaves, she's trying to leave.
She is attempting to, she's attempting to leave again.
And then they start bucking up to her.
Sure, yeah.
Judge, what is this case?
It's on for tomorrow's docket. Let me give you the cause number. 251-1137.
Sounds like interference, so
That's what she's charged with. But, so, sounds like she's got a case of the nosies, you know? She goes up there allegedly being nosy, she leaves, comes back, and then they start asking for her information. And she declines to give her information.
So Judge, what I'm looking at here, just to add context to the situation, she approaches in an unrelated incident, it looks like. She's asking what's going on. Fine. They talk to her individually. Okay. They tell her to leave. She continually asks what's going on. What did she do? She asserts, she becomes belligerent, is what the officer says, asserting that they were at her store, obstructing their investigation. Eventually, I don't know what the time frame is, but they say eventually she complies, moves away, but insisted that they need to call a supervisor to the area. A sergeant then spoke with her privately. After they responded and they requested her information to report her behavior to her supervisor at the university, and to identify her, which she refused to do. She then attempts to bypass officers. They ask her for identification again. They're detaining her. She says no.
But what's the interference? What did she specifically do?
Well,
she's just talking to them.
I understand, right? Judge, she's talking to them, but she's saying that they're at her store. She's belligerent, telling them to leave. They're at her store. The position of the state judge is that did obstruct their investigation. I mean, it's not in this. There's multiple senses of obstruction in our opinion. It's not.
Are you losing right now? Okay. Yeah, I'm not buying it.
Okay.
I'm not gonna do it. All right, I'll find no probable cause.
I'll dismiss the case, Judge.
When you go up and you get into a pissing match with officers, who's gonna win? Who's gonna win? Every single time. If you go up and you mess with someone who has the power of arrest, you're going to lose every single time. Don't go. It's not hard. I found no probable cause in your case, ma'am. Just be careful, okay?
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
If I want to press charges, or
Don't. You know what? Let sleeping dogs lie. Don't.
they assaulted me, though. They knocked out my tooth. They chipped my tooth. I got bruises on me.
And you can always go file a complaint with Internal Affairs.
That's what I'm asking.
Whatever.
How could I do that? I don't know the protocols.
So, what agency was this? Is this? Did you say it was at a college or?
Texas Southern, yes.
Okay. So you go to the Texas Southern University Police. You go to Internal Affairs, and you can file a complaint that way. Okay, I would take everything that you have, and that's how you do that. Okay, but just be careful.
And I can't even go back to my job because they're trying to ban me.
I don't know. I mean, did they issue some kind of trespass warning?
No, sir.
If there's a trespass warning, be careful. I don't see that one has been filed. They haven't told me about any kind of trespass or anything, so just be careful, okay? But I found no probable cause. They're going to dismiss your case, okay? Just be careful in the future, all right, ma'am? Okay, please. Good luck, okay, Miss Wimbush?
Are you kidding me?
Oh my God.
You have got to be kidding me. What is going on today? This is a joke. Today is an absolute joke. We need an interpreter.
I need an interpreter when I cannot express myself sometimes.
Oh my God, sir, put that cigarette out. I don't give a crap that you are outside of this. What is wrong with everybody today? You know what, Miss Reed, we're going to start bringing people in for people going to learn how to act in a courtroom.
Can you hear it? Can you hear it? Ma'am? Ma'am? Can you hear it? Okay.
Come and go. I have no business for that. Trust me, I'm sitting up here, I'm the one that needs a drink.